I want to ask you, as the founder of the Hollywood Confidential, I want to ask you just some rapid fire questions.
For sure.
And I want to ask, and I don't mean this in a disparaging way, but I believe clinically, you, like me, who are in this space, have to have a bipolar existence. It's got to be two different minds that you're walking through, right? So I want to ask you, as a Christian and somebody in the industry, if you want to meld the two, that's up to you. What do we do about Diddy?
Great question.
Yes.
Ironically, had the opportunity to work with Diddy.
No way.
On a tour in 2016.
Okay. Y'all zoom in.
The tour was called The Women of Bad Boys. So we had Faith Evans,
Yes.
Orianne Gibson, Total, and Faith.
Now, what were you doing?
Now, it was through Hollywood Confidential.
Yes.
So
you helped put it together.
We put this all together.
Have you been subpoenaed?
Not as of yet.
Okay. Okay.
It was for the 20th anniversary of Bad Boy.
Wow.
What an honor, because I love that you asked this question. He was one of the early on points of representation that I had, such as yourself, where I could see myself reflected on television.
Yes.
And so I modeled a lot of what I was doing after him.
Me too.
And so it's funny, I was sharing with some friends, it's crazy to have to learn how to grieve the loss of someone who's still living.
Ooh!
He's still here, but
yes,
cancel culture has caused us to eradicate everything that he built and did for the culture.
Yes.
And so it's
so
difficult.
I used Puff as a model for me, is that whenever he changed his name, he changed his brand. All right?
Okay.
So when I'm Puff, I'm Bad Boy. Right?
Yeah.
When I'm Diddy, I'm Chirac.
Absolutely.
When I'm Puffy, I'm Sean John.
Mm-hmm.
So every iteration of his name was the introduction of a new brand.
Right.
Or a new phase of himself. And it is interesting that only the courts will call him Sean.
Very.
So when do we come back to ourselves? How about Shy? When do we come back to ourselves is in that place of crisis.
Yeah.
And I am waiting to see how this whole court proceeding is going to roll itself out.
Yeah. I feel like as believers, it's our job to love.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we take on the job and the role of judgment. And I don't believe that should be our place. We can call for accountability.
Yes.
We can call for injustice.
Yes.
Right? We can do all those things. But
yes.
When we come into judgment, I think that we're moving into a position that we're not called to be in. And so while I understand what he did is despicable,
yes.
it breaks my heart. My heart goes out to any victims and all victims.
Yes.
I believe their stories. I believe women. I believe anybody who's been, whatever the words are that I probably cannot use on this podcast. But
yes.
I also just don't want this cancel culture. It concerns me.
Yeah. The Saints want to know. You didn't answer that from your professional perch. The Saints want to know where you at the after party. That's what the Saints want to know.
Can I tell? I'm not going to say a name, but I tried to go to one party.
Yes.
And somebody who knew me, we actually went to church together, fellowship. Yeah. I walked into the party at one of the tour stops.
Yes.
And he walked me right back out the door.
Around what time was this?
Around 9:32 p.m. Central Standard Time.
9:30. Oh no, that was early.
Yeah. And he said, and go home.
Yeah.
And I questioned it. I said, you're right. I'm going to go.
Yeah.
And I wasn't around for any of those things. I don't.
Because you have been in the industry, you're the founder of Hollywood Confidential. I got to ask you a couple of questions because I need some behind the scenes stuff just to help me to understand. Shannon Sharp.
such great questions.
Yes.
Man, what is my thoughts on him?
Yeah. And I want to ask you that of him, but I was reading something from a public intellectual that said, no matter who you are a black man in America. You get to some point of a crescendo where they start pulling the thread. And invariably, whether you lose your mind as Kanye, you find yourself in a drug addiction or codependency of Prince, you find yourself going into underground like Bill Cosby, that something happens because there's an invisible ceiling for successful black men. Do you think that's true, or is that just conspiracy theory?
I believe it.
Yeah.
Call it conspiracy theory. But it seems like every time they platform a young black entertainer, specifically and particularly male, there is a glass ceiling. And once you reach that certain level of fame, they pull the rug from underneath you. And it's disheartening. Every time I see someone come to the forefront, my first thought or inclination is to pray for them and their protection and their longevity in this space, because we are occupying spaces that were built without us in mind as African Americans. And so call it a conspiracy.
Yeah.
I do believe it. And Shannon, I don't know whether you did it or not.
Yes. If we get off of this set and Shannon calls you, your advice, wisdom, counsel to him is what?
Man, take accountability, take ownership.
Yeah.
People love honesty.
Yeah.
And they can connect with that, with a genuine disposition. And maybe you should have listened to Monique and the other warnings about, you know, who you are dating and who you're allowing in your circle to infiltrate your circle. Because everybody with you is not with you.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm sure he's already had these talking tos, and I'm sure he'll move forward in the future more carefully. But I wish we would think, you know, we've got to safeguard the promise and the dream. So it just hurts my heart. I wouldn't have even given her access to spin the story if it's been spun.
Right.
But that's me. And I'm not here to judge him.